So welcome everybody to Hump Day Hangouts. Two goals that we always have are to learn how to use LinkedIn and to get excited to just get out there and go for it. Our one big rule is everybody is nice to each other. This is a safe place to learn. Okay, so I have some really sweet questions that came in, but as always, priority is to live. So do you guys have anything top of mind that you want to talk about?
I just like the topics you brought up. I think you brought up some really great topics.
Okay, cool.
Changes.
So let's talk about account-based search. So what I'll do here is share my screen. Account-based search, you're going to use this more if you're in Sales Nav. So for everybody watching that just has free or premium, I'm sorry. Sorry because you're using free or premium. Okay, can you guys see this right here?
Yeah.
All right, so it took me a while to realize that account was a thing because it's so focused on individuals. But if you kind of poke around, you can go search for leads for accounts. There's leads here, there's accounts here, and there's going to be times when it makes more sense to do account-based search. So what I've kind of observed is there's a lot of, it's like account-based stuff is kind of getting hot. It's like trending. I see it in a lot of the learning material, a lot of stuff. So when you're on Sales Nav, sometimes so this is, how can I say this? So if you do a search for leads, it's going to be an individual. If you do a search for account, it's going to be for a company. I've come across issues where when I'm looking for people in an industry, I'll be going through the list and I'll go, why is this person in here? This is not the correct industry. And so what is going on a lot of times is you have in your profile section, you choose your industry. See that right there? You choose your industry. And then if you do a company page, let's just go here to this company page. We'll do edit. Don't worry about the dog. Dogs are cool.
That's my security team.
Nice. Oh, where is that at? And then look at, see, there's another industry.
Okay.
And so I feel like it's not really well known that individuals and accounts choose this setting. And so sometimes you'll be going through this list here, and if you're doing just a lead search, you'll find people where they're totally not at all in the industry. Especially I feel like that's where it's become my biggest thing, because if I'm trying to be narrow and relevant with the group that we're talking to, usually industry is one of the search filters pretty much every time.
Do you think that because they think their industry, like say they work for financial services, but they're in HR?
Yeah, exactly.
Industry, human resources, because that's their.
Yeah, it's like they're confusing. I think there's two things going on. I think they are confusing their role in the company with their company industry. And I think that they're if they do a major job change, they don't think to update the industry. They might update their work experience, they might update that kind of thing, but it's like, who changes their industry? I just feel like it gets neglected in that situation. So, and honestly, I think I don't even understand the purpose of having industry on your profile,
Well, it's for LinkedIn's, demographic, I guess, when they're looking at people. Because I changed mine. I go from communications to advertising and marketing to consultant. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. It does. It serves a purpose, I guess, but it can cause confusion. So what I've been doing is starting with account searches, and there's a few ways that you can do this, right? So it kind of depends on your goals. You can save accounts to meet your objectives. So if your objective is, I want to only get leads in an industry, sometimes it's helpful to save a bunch of accounts, having started at the account-based level, starting with the industry. So maybe we do like healthcare, right? Hospital and healthcare in the US, 47,000 accounts. So you can go through and save these, and then when you get to the lead search, you just go search within saved accounts.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah. So I think that's the way that it's meant to be. And check this out. I can maybe show us. I took a screenshot earlier. I don't have this on my account yet, but on some accounts, there's a new section here below tags that says custom list for your account-based saved list or your lead saved list. And I was wondering if that was going to happen because they introduced a while back the ability to create lists, but I was like, this doesn't do anything. I can save people and I can tag it, and I felt like that was a lot more of a clean way to organize, because then you can just search within here by tag. But now they're introducing lists into other things, and I'm sure it'll end up becoming, hey, do you want to advertise to this list and share it with your team, that kind of stuff.
I've used lists, like I have one of my clients has different groups that he's targeting. And so we've created lists of those groups. So then what we do is we've made notes so we can track their activity and engage accordingly just by looking at a list. So, but yeah, it's cumbersome because you still have to click. It's not like a Twitter list where you can just kind of have that come in your feed. Mm-hmm. I wish so you have referrals, nonprofit. So go ahead and click on like nonprofit, and what comes out of that when you click on that?
So let's do fundraising.
Fundraising, yeah, good. See, what I did is in the notes, I would say active, but these are companies. So, and then leadership. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a great filter. It's just, I'm not sure for business development or for job search, how to really, leverage it.
Yeah, I think for me, it's a matter of, if I'm having a list that I feel like is not laser focused enough, beginning with the search criteria for the accounts and then searching within those saved accounts. If I'm looking, and again, that's within a narrow context. I'm mostly talking about if I'm wanting to start intentional relationship building with people who could be potential clients. I would do that to get a list. Also, so if you like see all of these tabs up here, oops, where did it go?
And they brought back the last 30 days view, by the way. Gosh.
Well, if you go, so I really appreciate that, the posted and the mention in the news. But if you go to this is where I feel like having the list in this search area is helpful, because you get all these tabs. If you just go to, account list and you go like to this, it seems like there's just less info up here.
Yeah.
So anyways, for those of you who are not familiar with account-based search, it's kind of just some ways that you can use it. I found it very helpful to start to get a good list. Start here in account, figure out, whatever you need to here, because sometimes not only do people maybe don't have their profile up to date, if they have multiple like job experiences open currently, that kind of throws a wrench in the gear as well.
Yeah.
And so you're still going to run into that here, but it seems like it just helps a little bit.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't have the Inc. list on there. They've got the Fortune 100 list, but I'm surprised they don't have like the Inc. 5000 or the Inc. As another filter. Yeah, see, because I don't know that's as useful. And technology's used. That's also, I'm surprised they have like Quicken on there. It's like, really? But they don't have like ServiceNow or, everyone has Google Analytics. So that's kind of, who's on the HubSpot platform or who's on, how they would reveal that. But that's
I think they're building it out. I think that it's on the agenda. I asked chat how they got annual revenue. And they said that they pull it from a number of places. So it seems like they have bots that go out to what they would feel is trusted resources and then pull it in. So they said it might be on their company page, or it might be on like maybe they're publicly traded, that kind of thing. So that's where they get annual revenue. Yeah, I'm surprised it's just Fortune. Maybe Fortune paid them some money. I don't know.
Yeah.
maybe Fortune's owned by Microsoft.
Yeah, right. So can you talk a little bit about, so if you're doing this ABM, account-based marketing, right? And okay, so now you've picked the industries and you say, okay, these are tech, right? So now how would you prospect from this?
So I would go here and I would take what I know about the individuals at those accounts that I want to talk to, and then I would fill this out, and then I would apply search within saved accounts. And that's maybe if you're looking to talk to like a specific kind of person across the board. Sometimes you might want to just focus on that one company though. So if you're wanting to talk to someone that's in C-level, it can be a good strategy to start at the bottom of the totem pole and connect with people and work your way up. And by the time you get to the actual decision makers, they see that you know a bunch of people at their company. It can help with getting you in, and then you can, create buzz like, yeah, just talk to so-and-so. But it seems like you want to start where people would view you as, I need to know you. And kind of, it depends on who you're talking to. So if you're a salesperson and you're wanting to connect with the VP of whatever, they're probably going to go, yeah, probably not. If you're the owner, like a fellow C-level, they might be like, sure. It's just that perceived value there. But if you're in sales, it can absolutely help to start at the bottom and work your way up just for being in the company. And
might also help not
name
have
dropping.
Sales in your title, in your headline.
Yes.
No one wants to be sold to.
Yes, exactly.
No sales, no.
Exactly.
You mentioned industry. So how do we find a list of all the industries?
What I do is I just do this, type the letter A, and then I go down and I copy paste them all. I don't know if that's all of them.
Okay.
But I think it is.
I'm not the only one that does that. I've got.
Yeah. Maybe it's in the documentation somewhere. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Search for that.
Very cool. All right, I'm gonna stop. You guys have any last thoughts or comments on ABS, ABM? Dum bum bum bum.
I think it's fascinating. I think it's another way to look at LinkedIn. But I think
yeah.
It's also a call for people to update their industries appropriately if they've changed jobs.
Absolutely. I'm going to share my screen one more time because I noticed more stuff going on here too, on the notifications. Let's see here. All right, are you seeing my alerts here?
Yeah. Oh my.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of new stuff here. This is why I think that they're investing money in sales now. So you've got the notifications, including lots of account stuff now. So there's a potential lead at the account.
Wow.
Viewed your profile, account funding news, account news. So not like as much as at the individual level, but they're building it out. So
suggested Elevate content. So Elevate is like their premier platform.
Yeah. It's like helping assist employees at sharing company content to make it go farther. Yeah, exactly.
Well, what's interesting about Navigator is I have a lot of people. I'm giving a talk to a group of financial executives, right? So I went through all their profiles and they're all premium, but they're not Navigator. And it's like for $20 more, you could have so much more filtering and horsepower to your experience on LinkedIn. So I would tell people, don't bother with premium, go right to Navigator.
Yep. Yeah, I tell people the same thing. I think premium's not at all worth it. Yeah. No. I mean, what do you really get other than you can do unlimited searches and you get some in-mail?
And you get a look at 90 days on your profile views.
Yeah. I just feel like it's valuable, but not that valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. All right, cool.
Good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff. Isaac, crushing it.
Click, crush.
Yay.
Oh, let's see here. Oh yeah, I want to talk about how open profile label's gone. The reason why I'm sad about open profile. Okay, so if I would show you like a screenshot, but they're gone. So I'd have to find something that.
Is that the green thing that said open?
Yeah. So what I like to do is if someone has an open profile, for those of you who don't know, open profile is a setting only available if you have a paid account where you can let people in-mail you for free. And if you're on free or premium, you can, so sorry to clarify, if you have a free or premium or paid account, whatever, it doesn't matter what you have as the sender, you can send the in-mail for free as long as the paid subscriber has open profile turned on. So it's kind of confusing, but if you have a paid account, you can turn on open profile. People send you in-mail for free, but you don't have to have a paid account to send it for free, which is kind of nice. Anyways, if you're on the free or premium account and you look at a profile, it's not immediately observable if someone has open profile. It was on Sales Nav because there's a big green label that says open.
Right.
If you view that same profile on free or premium, you can click message and it'll say like that the in-mail is free.
Okay.
But you have to do that first to figure it out. So it's like, it's cumbersome. And I think that they're protecting people from being spammed, which I appreciate that. And then if you're on Sales Nav before, there would, like I said, be that green open label. And what I would like to do in the past is I would tag that person as open profile, because if I'm sending like a connection request and I want to talk to them, I would like to follow up with them if they don't reply. And so if I'm doing that at scale, I want to send an in-mail for free to open profiles first, right? And then that way I can use my actual in-mail credits on non-open profiles. Just it helps things go farther. But now you can't do that process because the label is gone, and you have to, I mean, you probably could, but you'd have to click message every time, and it's not as scalable. So kind of let down about that. You guys have any thoughts on open profiles?
I don't know about open profiles, but I'll tell you, in-mails lately have been nothing but promo, and they're just not valuable. So I don't know if that's because it's part of the marketing solutions, but I just have not found in-mails to be what they used to be.
Yeah, I think it depends on. Well, actually, I have my in-mail turned off, so people can't send me in-mail. I have. Well, sorry, sponsored.
How do you turn it off?
Sorry, sponsored in-mail. So I have open profile turned on, so people can message me for free. Okay. They can send me an in-mail, but I have the sponsored turn off, and the sponsored is just in your communication settings on your account. Yeah, it's really nice. But so there's kind of like two categories of in-mail, right? There's a person wanting to just straight up talk to you, and then there's an paid advertising campaign where you can do in-mail.
Okay.
And I've gotten subpar in-mails from both those camps. I've gotten some really good in-mail that individuals sent me, but it's always because there was a reason for them to talk to me. And that's how it's supposed to be. Like you have a good reason to talk to someone, say it right. It should matter. Yeah. But yeah, same here. Lots of promo. And I used to say like not interested just to shut it down. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I try to stick it. It's more annoying, but you got to stick it to them.
Yeah, no, sometimes what I've done, if somebody really annoys me and I want to make a point, I'll use my in-mail credit and send them an email instead of giving them back an extra credit. Usually I ask them, so how's this working out for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is just not good practice. So
yes.
Sometimes, we've started conversations about that.
Do you ever, I don't want to play too much with fire here. How often do you get pitched by other LinkedIn people?
All the time. And I respond back and say, have you actually looked at my profile?
Yes. Sometimes I play along. I play along and then just be like, yeah, tell me more. And then they never reply because they're like, dang it, lesson learned, scrub the list.
Either that or it's automated and a bot is looking at it and saying,
yeah, for sure.
Well, look at that. He's got the pot going. That's how
yes.
Look at that.
And actually, I'm nearing the end. Take the lid off. Oh, yeah.
No, that's good. That's good about, so yeah, just beware. Don't respond to those in-mails unless you want to procreate.
Exactly.
The practice. So cool.
Cool.
One other thing I noticed just on Navigator, when you're in your inbox, which is my nemesis, the Navigator inbox, you can now see there's little icons on the right rail. So if you look at the person, if you bring up your screen, you look at the person. I think it's really helpful. It now has their Twitter, their phone number, their email, and their website, if they've populated that on their contact card.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, and it shows your shared connections. So I'm really liking the way I can
Yes.
see this in the inbox.
Yeah, absolutely. Same here.
You
I love
know,
it.
yeah.
And I'll take, if someone wants to talk, I'll now you can just right click, copy the email and say like, hey, is this your best work email?
Yep.
I
Yep.
totally love that too. And we talked about this a week or two in the past. If they add tagging to the inbox,
Oh
am
my
going
gosh.
to,
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Oh.
gonna giggle like a little girl.
Or at least a star where you could like prioritize it.
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to date myself, but back in, I'm going to say 2011, maybe 2012, you used to be able to, within each profile, have the context of where you met, put a tickler for when you want to follow up, so what is your cadence, or what is your frequency, a rhythm, I guess. And it was really good to like, okay, monthly, let me check in with so-and-so, or, let me put this, 3 months down the road. And now I have to do it all either through a CRM or through, through a Google Sheet, which is,
Yeah.
a lot of work.
Yeah.
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 Oh, I love it.
Yeah. That would be awesome. And I think Microsoft is working towards making LinkedIn a better CRM, because they've in the past, they've said LinkedIn wants you to view Sales Navigator as a CRM. But if you ever have worked in sales at all, you would say there's nothing about Sales Navigator that makes it a CRM. You can't schedule calendar invites through it. You can't do follow-up reminders. There's
no pipeline.
you can't send email through it. It's so not a CRM, but I think that's where they're headed. And I would use it more if those features were built in.
Yeah.
Because of the convenience. I mean, I would love to be able to do that. So I think that's where they're going. I mean, it's LinkedIn, it's Microsoft. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but I think that's where they're headed. I did try to mess around with adding. So on your phone app, you can sync the calendar to SalesNav.
Oh, to SalesNav you can now? Okay, because I know in the regular LinkedIn, you can actually, if someone says, hey, you want to talk, you can access your calendar from the message. So you have to, so there's still two apps. You got the LinkedIn app, and then you got the Sales Navigator app.
Yeah, and I was messing around to see if I could let's see if I have there's nothing on my calendar today. Oh, I'm such a loser. I was wondering if you could do the calendar event and then have it the calendar sync to your SalesNav app, and then click their profile URL.
Yeah, you're asking.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Priority tag in the inbox first. If they could just do a star or something important, then we can start talking about a wish list. But yeah.
All right. So Olivia, wow, this is great. This is great stuff. We don't have too much more time. I want to be respectful of everybody's afternoon. Okay, Olivia, how do you leverage LinkedIn for link building? What is the strategy? And so I'll say a couple things. Feel free to chime in. Also, Lorraine is great at SEO. So Lorraine, I know you're busy and listening. If you want to unmute and just chime in, I'm totally cool with that. So for using LinkedIn for SEO, I mean, SEO has gotten more complex over the years, right? It's more than about just links. But if you want to just talk about links, because that's what your question was, Olivia, I went through and this morning, just for kicks and giggles, I exported all of my links from Search Console and then found everything that was from LinkedIn.com, because there's a few places where you would think you might get links, right? From LinkedIn, there's a Pulse article, there's your company page, maybe a showcase page, maybe when somebody shares something in the newsfeed. Those are possible places where you think there might be a link that Google would find and crawl and give you credit. So when I did my Search Console export links, I'm only seeing links from Pulse. Those are the only places. I didn't see a link from my company page, which maybe it's an old company page, but I didn't see it in there. I didn't see any links from status updates, like in the newsfeed. It was only from Pulse. So it might be one of those things where maybe they're found and indexed, and I'm just not seeing them in Search Console. But you guys have any thoughts or experience? Have you guys seen links in Search Console from anywhere other than Pulse?
You're making a big assumption that people have Search Console set up.
I am, but there's no other way to know about links,
It's true.
right?
It's true. That might be a topic unto itself in terms
Yeah.
of, when you do the Pulse or when you see things coming from Pulse, do you also publish those on your blog? Do you publish on the blog first?
Well, so strategy wise, I've said this story in the past, so if you guys have heard it before, I'll make it brief. Last year, maybe 2 years ago, oh man, time flies. Pretty soon I'm going to be like 90.
Uh-oh.
I had a really high traffic page on my site. And then I was like, this is great. It's a hot topic. I'm going to put it as a Pulse article. Did a Pulse article. It was different, but similar topic, but it was close enough to where Google de-indexed my website page and put the Pulse article up there. So I was like, oh, I just lost a ton of traffic. This sucks. And so I deleted the Pulse article, and then my site page came back. So be aware of duplicate content so because of that experience, what I do strategy wise is I want to be semi-lazy and repurpose content because it just takes so much work. I would rather the traffic be on my website because you can do so much more there. So what I'll do is I'll put like a teaser in the Pulse article where I'm treating the Pulse article not like a long form content, but like a primer. And then the call to action is to read the full thing off of LinkedIn. Now that might be annoying to some people, but that's what I've been doing. So it drives traffic to my site. I get a link from Google that Google sees. I'm pretty sure it's a no follow link, but that's what I've been doing. Yeah.
I like that strategy because a couple of reasons. One is LinkedIn is a rented platform, no matter how we look at it. And I think the equity is really in your site. And I think if you're using console and you actually inform the robots or whatever they are out there, and you send the link and say, here, I want you to index this, and you do that before you put it on Pulse, I think that's a really good thing. And then Pulse is really, that lives with your profile. So it really shows your catalog of thought leadership, and it's a Moz 100 site. LinkedIn is a very high ranking site, so you get a little bit of that cred. Probably good to change the wording of the title a little bit. You know?
For sure. Super avoid duplicate because like nobody's website, no is stronger than LinkedIn.
Exactly.
Maybe a few, but yeah, it has to be unique enough. So my goal is always to get the traffic to the site and then get people plugged into like whatever is best for them. But for the question, link building strategy, it seems like all that Google is finding and crediting to your domain is in the Pulse article.
Yeah.
So if your goal, Olivia, is a link, a direct link, Pulse is probably where you want to put your effort. Just be aware of duplicate content. Also, there is like an indirect way that you might get a link. So this is not going to happen very often, but it could. If you're sharing a resource through messaging, if you're sharing it in the newsfeed, somebody might like that and then end up linking to it, just themselves. But it's not going to happen very often, but you could get an indirect link that way as well. Oh, yeah. Any other thoughts on that?
No, that's really good stuff. The whole point is have a strategy.
Yeah, for sure. And if your goal is links, again, just Pulse seems like where it's at. Okay, I've got one, maybe two more, depending how fast this goes. So Nandy with an N, why my messages are read, never replied to. What should I do? Okay, so that's a big loaded question. I love it when someone has read receipts on, so you know that they've read it. And that helps you. It's like indirect feedback. You've seen that people have read your message. And if they don't reply, it's like on you. It's like an evaluator of why aren't they replying. So this could be an hours long thing, but I think it comes down to, are you talking to the right people, and are you saying the right thing to those people? I think that's what it comes down to. And from there, you could read a lot of books on marketing, your branding, your story, your message to your audience. Lots of material there. So you guys have any thoughts on, like, Judy, when someone says, no one replies to my messages, what do you tell them?
Well, I'd ask them, first of all, what are they saying?
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like it's a templated message? Because people can
Mm-hmm.
sniff that out. And what are they really hoping to get from it?
Yep.
So what is the expectation? Like if I'm conversing with you and you ghost me, I may send a note back and say, hey, Isaac, why the ghost?
Yep.
What's up? And then you'll say, oh man, I've been, buried in these, then I finally get your attention. But if I'm just doing like a form thing that's going out, truth is a lot of people don't have their notifications set. So they may connect with you, but then they don't really even think about checking their inbox,
Yep.
so it may not be anything about you at all. Or, whatever your messaging is, it may look like a template.
Yep.
So whenever possible, personalize it.
For sure.
And that's I've done a couple of different experiments, and lately I've been asking questions of people, and I'm amazed at the responses.
Yeah.
And it's just people, I think, when you turn it where you're interested in them, and Quentin Allums, he's a LinkedIn guy. He and I had this great exchange when we first connected, and he asked me, so what's going on in your world? What are you working on? And I felt that was really personal to me. And so I responded, and it really set the stage for our relationship. Whereas I've had other things come through, and it's like, tell me about you. And by the way, here's all we do, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, done, blah.
Yeah.
Move.
Yeah.
So I would first start with, what are you saying in those messages?
Yep. For sure.
If it's not working, stop doing it.
Yep.
Do something different.
Yep. So if the read receipt shows that they read it and no one's replying, that's a big red flag on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And definitely, it's a Story Brand. It's a podcast. The guys wrote a bunch of books, Donald Miller. They have a great kind of like phrase where he goes, if you're in sales, you're not the hero. Your client or the prospect, they're the hero. And your job is to like be their guide along the way.
Yep.
And asking questions is the best, easiest way to make it about them, to make them the hero, and so on, for sure.
It's one thing about the questions. I have a client where we're doing, he helps vendors and manufacturers get into big box retail. Okay. So trade shows are a vehicle. So one of the things that we started doing is, with all his connections, saying, what do you guys think about trade shows? Do they still work? Tell me some pros and cons. We've been getting an amazing response. And guess what? Now we have enough for a really good long form article where we can quote these people, of course, asking permission. And guess what? That's going to spread out exponentially to their networks. And it puts him in a position of, well, here's the pros, here's the cons. Presented, he doesn't take a position. But I think, again, have a strategy for what you're doing. If you're going to be messaging people, why? Why are you messaging them? And what do you expect on the outcome? And then if something doesn't work, stop it. Do something different. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I totally agree. I completely agree. Jer had said that they had done some similar things like that too, where it's like you're using your network, asking for advice in a collaborative way, and then their feedback, even though it's not directly related to sales, it creates a long form article. You can give them credit, make them look good, tag them in the material, and then along the way, you're investing in that relationship. And when it's, I found too, when you ask questions, you would be shocked at the insider info you get. I mean, it's like, if you just connect with the marketing manager or someone in HR, give them a sales pitch, you're making so many assumptions. But if you ask questions, they'll be like, actually, we're getting acquired next year. Like, whoa, this account's dead, or they say, so-and-so's on their way out, blah, blah. You'd be surprised at the insider info that people tell you just when you ask. And with that insider info, you can be so much more strategic with your activity. Fun times. All right, let's see here. I'm going to do one more because this was asked a while ago and I keep wanting to get to it. So as a freelancer, this is from Aaron. Aaron asks, as a freelancer, how should you list your profession on LinkedIn? That is a really good question. And I think it kind of comes down to, Aaron, when you're a freelancer, do you have you created a brand or a company yet? I feel like that's kind of where the paths part. So if you're a freelancer or a contractor and you have a brand, hopefully a website, maybe an LLC that you've registered, it makes sense to just create a company for your brand, even if it's just you, and then add yourself as the owner or whatever. So you're a freelancer, but who do people make other checks to? You know, you could do that. If you don't have a brand or registered business entity and you're just kind of, you float from place to place and you're a contractor or whatever, I've seen a couple ways where sometimes people say that they're a freelancer and then they add that company to their profile. So they are maybe on contract with Pepsi in human resources, and they'll say, I work for Pepsi right now. And in my headline, I'm an independent contractor or I'm a freelancer. I've seen that before. I've seen people create like just write something like a non-existent company page name and then say that it's like confidential, stuff like that. So it kind of deviates. I feel like it's, like I said, the path changes. Do you have a company, like a brand, a registered company, a company page, or not? So if you have the brand and the company page, make yourself the owner, CEO, whatever, of that company, even if you're a freelancer. If you don't have that, then you can choose between giving yourself a title. If you want to make it clear that you're freelance, associate that title with the actual company, or you can just add like a non-existent company page name and then just say whatever, like that you're a freelancer. I've seen it both ways. So what have you seen, Judy?
Well, I think, first of all, it's so easy to create a company page on
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn. So I think it legitimizes what you do, because I see so many gray boxes, and it's like, even if you're a speaker, put down, Isaac Anderson, speaker,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, call it whatever you want. But yeah, I say legitimize it, have a company page. Today, there's no reason why you can't just have a landing page website. So
Yeah.
easy,
You just need a branded email that matches the domain to create the company page.
Exactly.
That's all you need.
And then, yeah, exactly. And that's easy to do through, a variety of different ways. But I think another thing you can do, I know, like with me, I work with a company, they're my client, but I service clients under their umbrella. So what I did was, with each job, I made it another job. So if you look at my profile, I've got it's like a subset of that
Mm-hmm.
umbrella.
Yep.
So, you could have your consulting company as the one umbrella, and then you could have subsets. And I'm doing it mainly for the search capability, because I'm working in different industries. And so
Yep.
I've got them like as subsets. And so, yeah, I would leverage, I mean, it's free to do that on LinkedIn. So it's like, why not? Right? I mean, why not do that? It just
Mm-hmm.
makes so much sense to take advantage of that. And I think it helps you stand out then from those that don't do it.
Yeah. I think that there's an instant trust increase
Absolutely.
when, if you're a freelancer, you have your act together enough to have a company page.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally
Yeah.
agree.
I think
So
that's,
so I don't know that that's going to for sure work for everybody, but I think that that's definitely best practice, Aaron. All right, that's let's call it a day there, unless you guys have anything that popped in your mind while we were just talking there.
no, I just want to thank you for doing this. I know it takes time out of your business, and I really think what you're doing is awesome. So I just want to say thanks.
Thanks, Judy. It's selfish, actually, because this is my favorite time of the week.
Yay! Rock
All
on.
right, we'll see you guys later.